Village Board meeting for the Village of Shorewood on September 24th in the year 2019. You join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And roll call, please.
Luciano.
Yes.
Warren.
Here.
DeBold.
Here.
Anderson. Brockman.
Here.
And Kirkland. Here.
And I'm here.
And Mayor Chapman.
Okay, let the record show there's a quorum and the village business can be accomplished tonight. Are there any citizens that wish to address the village board tonight? Nobody popping up, so we'll move on to tonight's consent agenda, which consists of approval of work study meeting minutes of July the 30th, approval of the regular meeting minutes of August the 27th, also approval of the committee of the whole meeting minutes of August the 27th, approval of the regular meeting minutes of September 10th. Number 5, approval of accounts payable in the amount of $596,538.95. Number 6, approval of a payment in the amount of $166,635 to Kim Construction for the 2019 sanitary manhole rehabilitation project. And that's referred to as Basin 5 within the village. And finally, approval of a payment in the amount of $24,699.50 to RJN Group for the 2019 smoke testing and manhole inspections. This is the priority sewer basin, number 6. Does any trustee have a question on any item on the consent agenda or any comment?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, Diane, roll call, please.
Anderson.
Yes.
Brockman.
Yes.
Kirkland.
Yes.
Luciano.
Yes.
Warren.
Yes.
And DeBold.
Yes.
Consent agenda stands approved as read. Moving on to reports and communications, I have no proclamations. Were there any communications to the board, Diane?
No, there's not.
Okay, under my report, all I would like to do is, sitting, and I'm sure everybody that, got through their packet over the weekend had to be impressed by the amount of charitable endeavors that our police department gets involved in. And I think they should be commended. In fact, as I know they should be, and I stand here saying that I commend them, and I'm sure this board, per person, would say the exact same thing. That our police department is kind of a special group, and they do so much for the community that's not seen. And coming up, we've got the Shop with a Cop, which is a big success and takes care of a lot of children through the Christmas and the holiday season. And these officers just give up their time and do such a wonderful job. And then at night go out and put their butts on the line for the rest of us. So I think commending them is something I don't think we can do enough of. And, well, at one time, until I had to do some work on a vehicle of mine, I had the wave deal in the window of the car. I was probably more proud of that than I was of anything else going on with that car, okay? So at any rate, Chief, I hope you'll pass that on to the troops and,
I'll take care of it.
okay. All right. Any other comment? If not, we'll move on to tonight's order of business. Okay? Business item number 1. Consideration for approval of an ordinance amending the liquor control code of the Village of Shorewood. This is up for a first read. Ms. Chrissy.
Thank you, Mayor. The village had been recently approached by a couple businesses inquiring about special events for existing liquor licensees, as well as some outdoor patios. And as we reviewed the code, we realized that there were some amendments that could better serve the business community, provided that the board is willing to do so. These regulations will, the revisions include adding a definition for licensed premises to make it clear that an outdoor patio would be a separate license classification. And so the licensed premises would include their interior space as well as the outdoor patio, should they receive that license classification. It also revises the outing permit to allow current licensees to apply for an outing, but it does restrict the number of outing permits per licensee to 4 per calendar year. And really, it's being presented for first read, and we recommend waiving the second read and approval. Happy to answer any questions.
And it's just up to the liquor commissioner to approve them, then, the way I understand this. Is that right?
This is actually a text amendment to the liquor code, so it does require board of approval.
For every event?
Oh, yes, sir.
Just the liquor commissioner can do it as
Yeah.
needed or as at will, yeah.
There's no change proposed to that provision, and yes, that is currently how the code is written.
It's that way now.
Yeah.
Okay?
So if there was a problem, the board or the liquor commissioner would know, and then, it'd be his discretion or her discretion to say, no, we're not gonna do this anymore, or, you're not gonna allow it this time, or,
Yeah, it'd be very similar to the fest every year. I mean, the paperwork comes through the desk, and it's a pretty common thing.
I mean, I
I
don't look at-
believe if it were something that were really rare and large, I think, as liquor commissioner, I would bring it to the board to make sure that,
I don't expect any problems, but, you never know, and I just was kinda wanting to be clear on it, that's all. But
Is this similar to just an outside event for like a party, or is it like sometimes they have an event like Scooters has with the motorcycles and stuff like that? How big of an event is this cover?
So an outing permit has no restriction on the size as it's currently written. So Crossroads Fest they receive an outing permit. But the majority of the inquiries that we've received are more local businesses looking to try and, generate some exposure and have some, in one case, a Halloween party, in another case, assisting with a fundraising event. And so those are the inquiries that we've received thus far. But certainly, Scooters having an event outside of their facility, that would fall under an outing permit as proposed.
Well, they presently do that now. So, I mean,
Yeah.
what are we doing? I don't understand what we're doing extra here.
Well-
If we're already allowing that now.
this is just clearing up some of the nomenclature that was on the previous one that didn't give the absolute direction. It left a lot of confusion out there.
All right.
This now pretty much tells them almost every step that they have to do in order to qualify.
Right, so this goes by the same rules we did with scooters with noise and music outside.
Oh, even,
Everything
this
is the
is
same.
even more restrictive when it comes to that.
Well, my question is going to fall under the Class B, under the outdoor patio section. Number 2. I understand this doesn't apply to any existing facilities, but for example, the way this is worded, it's going to restrict, I think, any future patios per se. So for an example, the way this reads, if we use Will County Brewing, for example, they're in a strip mall, their property's adjacent to a residential, therefore, the way this reads, they wouldn't be allowed to have an outdoor patio. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I think we need to revisit that.
But number 2 says this provision shall not
And no,
apply.
correct, I understand. I'm just looking at for a future, but just as an example. My concern, though, is this. We're trying to bring different businesses and stuff in. We have the property down there next to Lenny's, for example. What if we get some sort of a strip mall again? What if we draw another brewery out here, per se? If you look at that section over there by the Lenny's gas station, the way this is worded, any of those lots are going to be within 300 feet. Therefore, they're not going to be able to have an outdoor patio space. Let alone, look at the piece right here on 52 next to Walgreens. There's a big open lot there. What if somebody wants to build something right in there? It's another piece of land. Matter of fact, what about Casa Maya's looking to open up down there on 52 and 59? I believe this would restrict them from even having an outdoor patio space. Because this says from the property line. The way this is worded, it says the property line as opposed to measuring from the beer garden or the patio space itself. So therefore, you would measure down in the corner, that would run them all the way out to the intersection of Route 52. You have homes right across the street. So I'm all for this, but I think number 2's either got to be removed or reduced. I'm all for it. I really just want future growth, and I want them to be able to have these businesses come in and be able to have these outdoor spaces, especially if our master plan kind of reflects some sort of downtown atmosphere out here in front. I'd love to have that out front. And people really enjoy that outdoor space to be able to sit down in a restaurant or something to drink or whatever it may be. I just hate to see that be restricted.
Yeah, we're definitely pro outside seating. We only get 3 to 4 months a year here. And we discussed that the other day. I believe Mr. DeBold makes a very good point. And unless anybody else can see the reason to keep that 300, we probably should just eliminate it. And
I'd be all for moving forward with and waiving the second read if number 2 is struck.
Yeah, I mean, me too. The thing is with, like, for Will County Brewing, there's not enough room in the back anyway, so if they're gonna have a special event, I assume it would be out in the front, maybe out in, into the parking lot, so, out in the back, it's really not gonna apply there
yeah,
anyway.
we've already got a couple of them that fall under that. Okay, that's why it got put in to grandfather that, because you got the bullpen, definitely, I mean, they're like 2 feet, okay?
By all means, I agree.
And,
Why don't we just eliminate that and approve it? I mean, unless someone has-
make
I'll
the
make
second
I'll make the motion, if this will help with anybody, I'd be willing to make the motion to approve the approval of ordinance amending liquor control code of Village of Shorewood with the modification of striking number 2 from section B, section Q, subsection Q, legal for the best advice on how to phrase this.
I think that's fine. It's clear what you're talking about.
Okay. If number 2 is struck,
Yeah, I'll second.
and waive the second read.
yeah,
Second.
okay,
Luciano?
is that a motion?
Yeah, and Dan Anderson
Dan second.
seconded already.
Diane, roll call, please.
Luciano?
Yes.
Warren?
Yes.
DeBold?
Yes.
Kirkland? Yes. Brockman?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Okay, agenda item number 1 stands approved. Moving on to number 2. Consideration for approval of an ordinance directing and authorizing the disposal of surplus property by the Village of Shorewood. This is out of the evidence vault.
Correct. So the first one we're dealing with is, again, housekeeping ordinance, you've seen it before. We periodically clean out our evidence vault. This is the stuff that we've had, the cases are closed. Good property that we had to return is, every effort's been made to return it to the owners. The rest of it is stuff that we cannot use. So we either destroy it or we have some things that will go to propertyroom.com. Propertyroom.com is the vendor whom we've used time and time again. So you've seen this, I don't know, for years.
Make a motion to dispose of the surplus property.
Second.
Diane, roll call, please.
Anderson.
Yes.
Brockman.
Yes.
Kirkland.
Yes.
DeBold.
Yes.
Warren.
Yes.
Luciano.
Yes.
Agenda item 2 stands approved. Thank you, Chief. Moving on to number 3, consideration for the approval of an ordinance directing and authorizing the disposal of surplus property by the Village of Shorewood. This is vehicles.
So these are seized vehicles. You've seen this time and time again, vehicles that we send to auction, and then the proceeds are distributed in accordance with state statute.
Time out for a second.
Sorry, sir.
On number 2, did we waive the second read?
Waive the second read. I'll make a motion to waive the second read also. How's that?
Okay,
And I'll
I
second
don't
it,
remember if
yeah.
you did or not.
is that good enough?
Amended
Okay,
it.
yeah. Okay, back to you, Chief. Sorry. Sorry to
Nothing to add.
interrupt you.
Make the motion for approval of an order directing and authorizing the disposal of surplus property by the Village of Shorewood and waive the second read.
Second.
Diane, roll call, please.
Luciano.
Yes.
Warren.
Yes.
DeBold.
Yes.
Kirkland.
Yes.
Brockman. And Anderson.
Yes.
Agenda item number 3 stands approved. Moving on to number 4, consideration for the approval of the purchase in the amount of $11,998.94 from Heritage Technology Solutions for video surveillance and recording equipment for the police department, booking room, and the Sally Port Garage. Chief.
So if you recall, years ago, we provided video surveillance to all 3 facilities, the police department, public works, and the village hall. At the time, we contemplated placing video surveillance in the booking room and the Sally Port. The purpose of that is kind of twofold. Number 1, you're on candid camera, you kind of behave better. Number 2, kind of gives us liability protection. If somebody accuses us of doing something, we have video evidence of people doing whatever. So at the time, because the project at that time was so large and we were biting off so much, it wasn't a need, it was kind of a want, so we forewent that. Now, we're kind of finding that it might be a good idea to go back and pick that up. Every time we have a case go to court, the standard request from all the attorneys is they want all the video from the cars and the body cameras, which we don't have yet, and then the booking video. So this would be a very good addition, and it's recommended because it's a best practice.
Make the motion to pay $11,998.94 to Heritage Technology for video surveillance in the booking room and Sally Port.
Second.
Okay, Diane, roll call, please.
Luciano.
Yes.
Warren.
Yes.
DeBold.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Brockman.
Yes.
Kirkland.
Yes.
Agenda item number 4 stands approved. You didn't want to stand up there for that last one, Chief? Huh? You didn't want to stand up for the last one?
I thought there was only 3.
The van.
Yeah,
It's Chris.
Chris.
well, that's Chris, but you might want to tell us what it's all about. Hey, how many times you get a chance at a triple-double from your stature?
The van. We've had, what is it, a 92 van? What's the Explorer, a 90?
Replacing a 2004 Explorer. for
Okay,
the
it's not
evidence.
quite that bad, but our evidence van is a really, really old silver Ford Explorer. I think it was like one of our very first traffic cars. And every time you need like a live chicken and a battery to get it started, and it's bad. So
Hate to bug you again on this one, but let me read this first.
I'm sorry. I thought you were already like ready to go.
Agenda item number 5. Okay, triple-double time for the chief. Okay.
Ready?
For those of you that don't know what a triple-double is, watch more basketball. Okay. Number 5 on our final business item, consideration for approval of the purchase and the payment in the amount of $32,908.22 to Rod Baker Ford for a 2019 Ford Transit van for the police department. Mr. Gray.
Thank you, Mayor. We went through some searching to find a van for the police department. This is a 2019 that is on the lot at Rod Baker. We're looking for this purchase. The existing 2004 Explorer that's currently used by the police department is in disrepair. We've got some pretty extensive work that needs to be done there. Upon your approval, we will purchase the vehicle and we'll put some upfitting lighting in there for the police department for evidence and their needs. I don't know if you want to elaborate, Chief, on what you use it for?
We'll just use it for equipment transport, like to the range or major events when we're transporting bigger lights and some other things. It'll also be able to pull the traffic trailer if we need it, so it's a multi-purpose vehicle. We're trying to maximize every conceivable thing out of it. Like I said, that car we've got's 15 years old, it's dead. I don't think we can get a priest to do anything more to it, it's bad, so.
Was it already coming with like shelving and stuff inside of it to
Well,
use? Or?
I think we've got to build it out, right?
No, well, there's some, yes. So the build right now is it does come, it has shelving in it. We had the police department, evidence technicians and the deputy chief in charge of fleet go through the vehicle. Our fleet manager took a look at it. It meets the needs of the department. It's here. If we were to build one today, it's a 2020, it's $3,500 more, just base model. And then when it comes into house, we'll put lighting on there appropriate for what they need. There's already been discussions on some, parts and pieces to outfit it for their needs.
We might put like a floodlight on the outside or something.
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
oh, I'm fine. I just was wondering if you were gonna need, if it came with some shelving inside already or not, because.
I didn't look at it. Chris was driving around showboating it the other day. I didn't go look, but yeah, it's gonna be built out.
There's $2,000 worth of shelving that meets their needs for sure, which is more than enough space for what they have. But they do have additional needs for, like Chief said, transporting other equipment. So it's very versatile compared to just having that one evidence vehicle at this time.
So we're not able to buy this in town because the delay in ordering and a cost aspect. So
Right,
we're
and
gonna
it's-
go outside of town because this dealer has it on the lot.
Correct. We
I just
work,
wanna make sure why we're not buying in town, but we have to go out of town because somebody happens to have it, it's ready to go.
it's ready to go. And the vehicles, the other one's in disrepair and not worth more effort, as Chief explained, to try to keep it alive and operating.
Okay?
I'll make the motion for approval of purchase and payment in the amount of $32,908.22 to Rod Baker Ford for 2019 Ford Transit van for the police department.
Second.
Diane, roll call, please.
DeBold,
Yes.
Warren.
Yes.
Luciano.
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Brockman,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Item number 5. Stands approved. Moving on to reports. Trustee Anderson, Public Works.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First up, RGN manhole rehabilitation in Basin 5. It started, that started in August last month. That's moving along. 52 in River, the punch list still being worked on. There's some lane problems there and landscape issues that had to be ironed out. And then the hand railing has been approved with IDOT, and that's costed $21,573. Just waiting on the contract to be awarded and an installation date. A leak detection has gone through the town. We've only had 3 bad lines or service lines that were bad, so that was a significantly big difference in what we usually see. I mean, it's been coming down all the time, but it's pretty good. Big thing going on out at the lift station. We've had a valve that was stuck half open or half closed, whichever you would want to prefer to say, but the new one's been in and should work a lot more efficient down there now. And the other big thing is we had a generator failure last week. If you all recall, it's about just over 2 years old, about 25 months old, and it was a significant failure. Their cat's looking at it, and their mechanics and seeing what we can do to get it, we're gonna get it fixed, but, it's just out of warranty. We're gonna see if we can split some kind of, you know, we pay parts or, they pay labor, we pay labor, they pay parts, we don't know yet. So anything we get, it'll be a plus because it is out of warranty, so. There is a temporary generator down there up and running, if we lose power. And the last thing is the ash tree replacement program is kind of slowed up a little bit due to the weather. It's been a little too warm to be planting the trees. So we're expecting in the next 2 weeks to probably be out, but I don't think this week is still gonna be a little warm probably, huh?
They are at the process of, by the end of the week is our date right now
Right now.
to start, but it'll take, like you mentioned, about 2 weeks to
Kind of
plant
hinging
those.
on the weather, so, and then I guess we're supposed to get rain again this weekend, so maybe not, who knows?
Can I add on the River and 52, that agreement with the railing is underneath the contract value still right now. We're working on that pricing. It hasn't come to the board as a $21,000 request because IDOT approved it, it's in the contract. So right now, our contribution's only gonna be the 20% of that at this point. And we're still under the awarded value is what I've been told by Burke at this point.
How big did this handrail get? I mean, we're talking $20,000 for our handrail we were asking just to put 4 foot on?
You wouldn't
as a
think so, but
preventative
yeah.
measure? Did IDOT change the scope
That's
of
the
this by
cost.
chance?
It's the cost of what that railing is, it's the piers to put it in next to those
So
structures.
they're gonna add piers and some
There's gonna
extra
be some
labor
piers and
stuff. Okay.
concrete and that, this is a price that just is for the railing and the installation. It doesn't include any traffic control they have at this point in time.
That's fine, because I just know we talked about adding
Not
a
gonna
4-foot
just
rail on top of the structure
Not
in
gonna
place.
get bolted down.
That's,
Yeah, it's not gonna be bolted down. That bolt-on option was available, but I went with one that if it got hit, we'd be able to go back and have piers there to go back to repair
okay.
in the future.
And then the last thing I got is we got a thank you note from Fred Alexander at 1225 Berkeley Court. It's on the storm sewer manhole rehabilitation. That came out in an email today. He's thanking us for getting that done, so that's all I have.
Okay. Trustee Brockman, Planning and Zoning Commission.
Thank you, Mayor. Next meeting will be October 2nd here at the Village Hall, 7 o'clock. We have one item on the agenda. It's a public hearing for a conditional use permit for Rise Athletic Indoor Training Facility. And besides that, we'll have some additional training, mainly on variances, I think, Kelly, you said, so should be a full evening, so.
Okay.
October 2nd, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Kirkland, Parks and Recreation.
Thank you. Our fall programs are open and available for registration. Online registration is available. Visit our website for more details and to create your user account. Thanks to everyone who came out to our first fall movie night. We had a great turnout to kick off the season. Our Touch a Truck also saw great weather and a fantastic turnout this year as well. Coming up, we have this Saturday, September 28th, is our Oktoberfest. It will be taking place at Senies Park from 4 to 11:30 p.m. We would like to invite families to come and enjoy traditional German food, music, and more from 4 to 8, after which the venue then becomes 21 and older. The lounge puppets will be performing from 9 to 11:30. October 27th is our Autumn Fest, and that will take place here at the Town Center Park from 2 to 4:30 p.m. It will feature a pumpkin giveaway sponsored by Coldwell Banker, Trunk or Treat, which is trunk decorating contest sponsored by the Shorewood Lions Club, hayrack rides, and more. If you'd like to decorate a trunk for the Trunk or Treat, please visit our website for more details. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Luciano, Citizens Advisory.
The Citizens Advisory Committee will be meeting this Thursday, September 26th at 7 p.m. on the second floor of the Village Hall in the large conference room. That'll be one of our last 2 meetings for this year. The last meeting will be October 24th. We're encourage any resident who is interested in attending the meeting to come, and anyone might be interested in getting involved in the committee, you can find us on the contact information on the village website. And that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. Because of such a short meeting as soon as we adjourn. What I would like to do, unless somebody absolutely needs a break, I'd like to move right into the committee of the whole. Keep moving along, so I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. Diane, roll call, please.
Luciano,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Brockman,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
DeBold.
Yes.
Stand adjourned.